Okay.
Yep.
I hereby call to order this meeting of the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Today is Wednesday, June 9th, 2021, and the time is 10:04 a.m. Would those commissioners in attendance please identify themselves and state as to whether they are here in person or via Google Meets or via telephone?
This is Eric Feinstein. I'm here via Google Meets.
I am Scott Fletcher, and I'm here in person. And it appears Commissioner Pennington is with us via Google Meets, but that remains to be seen. We'll continue to try and get him. But while we got a two-man band here, we'll press on. It's going to be a great week. We've heard great things from the UFC. We're so excited to have him in. And yesterday I had the chance to talk with General Counsel Hunter Campbell, Dana White, Mark Ratner, and they, to a man, said that that we're as good as they get. So my hat's off to Mr. Becerra, Mr. Estrada, and everybody else that's involved in this. We're well thought of. It was easy for me to go to the UFC and say, let's do 263 in Phoenix. So again, my hat's off to you. Speaking of Mr. Becerra, he is our executive director, and thankfully so. He's been a critical piece of what we've done for years now, and he's the logical choice. So congratulations. It's a great week in many respects. So let's press on. B is our old business. B1 is our COVID-19 update. Mr. Becerra.
Yeah, so it's a small update. The numbers are trending in the right direction. We're getting lower numbers from last month. We want to keep updating the COVID protocols, and hopefully we could fully remove them, but we're just chopping it little by little. And we did update this COVID protocols, so we'll talk a little bit more on the next item.
Okay. And it says Commissioner Pennington may have joined us. Commissioner, are you there? It looked like he tried to join on. Okay. I see him. He is muted. Commissioner Pennington, we see you here, but it looks like you're still muted potentially.
And now can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Sorry, I was tuned in, but for some reason the sound didn't work.
No worries. We're glad to hear you. Let's circle back to the roll call. How are you joining us, Commissioner?
Via Google Meets and phone.
Okay, perfect. Welcome. We're glad to have you.
Are you getting feedback?
You sound fine to me, at the very least.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm getting feedback on myself.
Stay right there. Let's move to B2, which is our updated COVID-19 protocols. Mr. Becerra.
Yeah, so we did remove quite a few things, not that many. We did remove the indefinite medical suspension for fighters with a positive result. So far, we only had 2, and they gave us a negative right away. There were false positives. So I think it's a little bit too much to suspend it indefinitely. As soon as they get a negative, they should be lifted. We also removed the requesting the venue, the full list of the venue staff. I think as long as we get everybody that's going to be within our bubble, that's more than enough. And we're going to start, we've been getting all of those. So that's something that we updated. Also, if you've been fully vaccinated, you may decide to remove your mask. That being said, the commission will have the mask until further notice. Hopefully in the near future, we can remove that if we're fully vaccinated for the staff also, or we can hopefully remove as of right now, those are the only updated.
Okay, to clarify, commissioners are obligated to be in masks and their guests are obligated to be in masks for this next event?
Yes.
Okay.
As of right now, yes.
Okay. The UFC personnel at their own, at their leisure to do as they do. Okay, very good. Thank you. Questions, thoughts, commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I do have one question. I understand that we're going to be required to have a COVID test. How will that be done? What information do we have?
We will be sending that a little bit later today. So basically, everybody that's going to be in attending on Saturday will have to get tested by Friday. The testing will be at the host hotel at the Hyatt in Phoenix, near downtown. It's going to be open from 12 p.m. through 8 p.m. But again, I'll send that out a little bit later today.
Okay, Mr.
What about people in Tucson?
Yeah.
I would speak with the UFC. Hopefully, we could get some tests in the morning. But let me write that down. And
I don't plan on arriving till 2.
Yeah, he's going to pull right in at kickoff. Commissioner, we'll work on that and
Okay.
try to get it sorted. I think we'll be able to sort that out. There's plenty of spots in Tucson where we can get you tested and sorted, but more to come. Any other thoughts? Commissioner Feinstein?
No questions from me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, do we need a motion to approve the revised COVID?
We do
protocol?
indeed, Commissioner. We do indeed.
Is it appropriate now?
It is.
Then I would move that we approve the revised COVID protocol.
And I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. It's a moving target. We need to keep moving every month with this thing, but we're moving in the right direction too. So good things are afoot. Let's jump into our new business. C1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Ms. Lauren Murphy for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Ms. Murphy, how are you this morning?
I'm good. Hi, guys.
Thanks for joining us. Where do you find yourself this morning?
I'm at the Hyatt Regency in downtown Phoenix.
Oh, good. You're just down the street. Well, welcome. Welcome to Phoenix. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you. I lived here for 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, good. Good. You know it well. So you've spent some summers here. You understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Mr. Becerro, you speak to Ms. Murphy's application, please.
Yes, all medicals are in and approved. Ms. Murphy's been active since 2010 with a record of 14-4. She's been competing in the UFC at the highest level for 7 years. With that being said, I recommend we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Becerro. Commissioners, thoughts, questions for Ms. Murphy?
No questions from me, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Pennington, I'm showing you on mute again.
No questions for me either, sir.
Okay. The chair would be open to a motion if there was one.
I move pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 that we approve the license application for Ms. Lauren Murphy.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Ms. Murphy. We look forward to the week ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. Appreciate it,
Thank
guys.
you. Take care now.
All right. Bye-bye.
C2 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for a person over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Damian Maya for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Damian, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Becerro, you speak to Mr. Maya's application, please.
Yes, Mr. Maya also submitted all the medical requirements, and they're in and submitted and approved. Mr. Maya has been active since 2005 with a record of 28-10, competing at the highest level at the UFC for 14 years. That being said, I do recommend we approve Mr. Maya.
Thank you, Mr. Becerro. Commissioners, any thoughts or questions for Mr. Maya?
No questions.
Mr. Chairman, I have none.
Okay, Chair would be open to a motion if there's one.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant a professional MMA license to Damian Maya for a 2021 professional MMA license pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, AAC R19-2-C604 for a fighter over the age of 36.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Maya. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday as well.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day. Thank you.
You the same. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Item C3 is again pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Michael Quintero for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Quintero, I think I saw you here. Are you here with us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Welcome.
I'm here.
Thanks so much for calling
Hi,
in. We
thank you.
appreciate you doing so. Mr.
Thank
Becerra,
you.
will you speak to Mr. Quintero's application, please?
Yes, of course. Mr. Quintero submitted all his medical requirements. They're in our system and approved. Mr. Quintero has been active since 2013, competing all over California. With a professional record of 6-2. Mr. Quintero is trying to compete for RUF Road to 1. And that being said, I do recommend we approve Mr. Quintero.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Commissioners, any thoughts or questions for Mr. Quintero?
Just
Mr. Chairman,
when was
I have
the last
none.
time you competed, Mr. Quintero?
Can you repeat the question?
When was the last time you competed?
It was, I was supposed to fight March right before the pandemic, about 3 months before that. So I'd say December 2019, maybe.
Okay. So other than COVID, no prolonged absence from the sport.
No, sir. I've been very active.
Thank you.
No problem.
Commissioner Pennington, any thoughts or questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have no questions.
Okay, the chair would be open to a motion, should there be one.
Mr. Chairman, I move pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-D604 that we approve the license application for Mr. Michael Quintero.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Quintero. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.
You do the same. Take care now. Item C4 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228A, B, and E, and 5-229, the renewal license application submitted by Ms. Brandy Pierce, doing business as World Fighting Federation LLC. This is for a 2021 MMA promoter's license. Ms. Pierce, are you with us?
I am.
Welcome. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Mr. Becerra, will you speak to Ms. Pierce's application, please?
Yes, Ms. Pierce is one of our local MMA promoters. All of her paperwork is in, and based on the financial investigation, there's no problem, and she is suitable to be a promoter. I believe she wants to have 3 or 4 events this year. The first one would be hopefully August 13th in Prescott Valley under the Findlay Toyota Center. That being said, I don't have any issues with her application, and I recommend we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Commissioners, thoughts, questions for Ms. Pierce?
Mr. Chairman, we have worked with Ms. Pierce and World Fighting Federation for several years now, and they have always done a very professional job in putting on events.
I agree, Commissioner. Ms. Pierce, we're glad to have you back. We're
Thank you. Glad to be
heading in
back.
the right direction. We've done some nice cards in the Prescott area, especially in that building. It's a nice room. How big is that room? Capacity is in there?
5,000.
Yeah.
Capacity is 5,000.
Yeah, we've had some over the years, had some really nice events in there. We're glad to have you back. But you're not back yet, so don't get ahead of yourself. We're glad you're trying to get back.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I got ahead of myself. Commissioner Feinstein, any thoughts or questions?
No questions.
Okay, the chair would be open to a motion if one exists.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228A, B, and E, 5-229, that I move that we grant a renewal license application for Brandy Pierce, doing business as World Fighting Federation, for a 2021 promoter's license.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Ms. Pierce. Looking forward to the year ahead. We're going to do some great things.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks so much for calling in. You take care now.
You too.
All right, let's press on to C5. One Championship has been in contact with us. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to this, please?
Yes, One Championship, we had a meeting with them on May 18th. They're hoping to have their first event in the United States here in Arizona, which is very exciting. They do have some questions. If we could use their global rule set for MMA, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. I did share with the commissioners all of this. What I would like to have is at least a week so all the commissioners can read the rules and write down any questions that we might have. And hopefully we could schedule a special commission meeting with them, with One Championship, so they can make a presentation and they could hopefully answer any of our questions that we might have. Hopefully we could have a commission meeting, a special commission meeting just for this in the near future, hopefully next week.
Okay, thank you. So it's your recommendation to table this and spend some more time looking at it. Commissioners, if you've looked at, now let me ask one question. Their intent is to put on a Muay Thai event, kickboxing event?
We've talked and they want to have a MMA, and in that same event, it would have Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Okay. And their rules are certainly interesting and outside of what we're used to. There's yellow cards involved and red cards. There's a tournament format too that they were throwing around too.
Yeah, so that's something that I would really like the commissioners to dig deep in the rule set that they provided and their judging criteria, and also their weigh-in process. They do it slightly different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all safety-based, of course. But yeah, I think we should definitely review the rules and then have a special commission meeting where they could present all of this, and we have the opportunity to ask all the questions that we are going to have.
My concern is that we're bound by statute as far as what our rules are, and this at least feels like it's a healthy departure. Even if it's safer, it's certainly very different. But let's table this after commissioners had a chance to talk about this. Commissioners, any thoughts or questions regarding this?
Mr. Chairman, this is not really about the One Championship and all of their rules, but it's a comment on their hydration weight weigh-in. That is really a tough protocol, and I think it's great. You know, 2 days before, a day before, hydration and weight. It's good. Yep.
No, I agree, Commissioner. I was really fascinated by that approach. It makes perfect sense. So there's lots of good things. I'm not poo-pooing this. We just, if we're going to do this, have to get our hands around their rules, or they have to get their hands around our rules, but we'll have to have a meeting of the minds in that regard. Commissioner Feinstein, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there certainly are some beneficial aspects, especially from a safety standpoint, to the protocols. I guess my concern is, you know, if every promotion can come in with its own set of rules and stipulations and officiating and everything else, the burden that puts on the commission to be able to, you know, adapt and provide a consistent and safe event, you know, does this open Pandora's box a little bit to, you know, every promotion, you know, having that kind of variability. But I'm certainly open to the idea, and it's certainly a great promotion. And I think a lot of it makes sense.
Thank you, Commissioner. I agree. It's a great promotion. They've done great things. It's fantastic that they want to come to Arizona. But when it comes to rules, I think we are bound by statute. And you're right. It's a Pandora's box if each event we rewrite the rules, depending upon what they'd hope for. So let's table this. Let's have a conversation with them when they can, and we'll try and push forward with them. Good news is they want to come to Arizona, so maybe we can find a way. Thank you all. Item C6 is a hearing for Jeffrey Thomas Wells. And I believe Ms. Wagner is going to chair this. Ms. Wagner, are you with us?
I am. Good morning, commissioners. I know this is on the action item part of the agenda. It is a hearing, and so I would be open if the commission wanted to table this to a later point in the meeting, just as there are other members wishing probably to address the commission or deal with issues that might be before the commission and may not want to actually sit through a hearing. But I am certainly prepared to go forward. I would leave it to your discretion as to what you wanted to do with it.
Ms. Wagner, I agree. Let's table this and we'll make it the very last item for this, other than adjournment. So press on. We'll circle back to that hearing. D is our information reports. D1 is our event reports. The following events were paid and approved by the executive director from May 11th, 2021 to June 8th, 2021. The first being a request from Rough Nation for an MMA event to be held at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix on Sunday, June 20th, 2021. The second being a request from Sweet Science Boxing for a boxing event to be held at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix on Saturday, June 26th, 2021. The third is a request from Thunderbolt Boxing for a boxing event to be held at the Arizona Federal Theater in Phoenix on Friday, July 2nd, 2021. The fourth is a request from the World Fighting Federation for an MMA event to be held at Findlay Toyota Center in Prescott Valley on Friday, August 13th, 2021. And the fifth is a request from OG Boxing for a boxing event to be held at the Glendale Civic Center in Glendale on Saturday, August 14th, 2021. Looks like our event schedule is growing, and it's good news. We're out of the woods somewhat on this crazy year in the past. Mr. Becerra, let's talk about our 2021 event schedule.
Yeah, so far it looks great. We have, I believe, 10 more events that are pending approval. And that's going to put us, as of right now, 28 events for the rest of the year. And I'm sure that we're going to get more. But yeah, this coming up month, we're back to back with events. First, we had last week Thunderbolt. This week we have UFC. Next week we have Rough. The week after that, Sweet Science, and then Thunderbolt. And I believe after that, we already have one pending for Del Sol coming back. So yeah, it's going to be exciting next couple, 5-6 weeks.
Fantastic. Lots in the mix, lots of groups we've worked with for many years in the past, and some newbies coming in too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting next 6 months. It's going to be very exciting. Commissioners, thoughts or questions about our event schedule?
Let's just keep getting it filled up.
Yeah, none for me. I share your enthusiasm for, getting things moving again. It's nice to see.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Good things are afoot. Item 3 is the 2021 commission meeting schedule. Mr. Becerra.
The commission meeting schedule remains the same. The next commission meeting is going to be July 7th. I like to add these so you guys could have a visual, and you guys can make sure that you guys add it to your calendar. They have no changes to this.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any thoughts? There being none, I shall press on to E, the always frightening call to the public. I see Mr. Matthew Valenzuela out there and some other ne'er-do-wells that might want to chat us up. Those members of the public wishing to address the commission must attend via video conference and either utilize the raise hand function or message the meeting host directly to be recognized by the chair. We'd ask you hold your thoughts to 5 minutes. Who would like to chat with us?
I just wanted to say thanks for taking care of the meeting for our athletes, along with the other people that are on the agenda. I look forward to seeing everybody on Friday for the weigh-ins and then the event on Saturday. But great job, everyone. Congratulations to Carlo Becerra. for getting the director position. If you have any questions or you need any help, obviously Juan's available, Norma's available. I'll make myself available. Mark Ratner will also be available if you need that.
Thanks, sir.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you, Matthew, for anything you had to do with getting this particular event here. I thank you, because I know the worst thing that ever happened to us was having you hired away, and one of the best things that ever happened to us was having a mole at the UFC. So we appreciate all you do. Welcome home. We're glad to have you, and we'll get to spend the next few days with you. So looking forward to that.
Perfect. Thank you. And first UFC pay-per-view in Arizona, which is pretty nice. So 2 title fights, and again, it'll be a good one, and looking forward to it.
It's going to be great. I got on a Southwest Airlines flight yesterday with an empty seat next to me. At the last second, a kid jumps on the plane. I was from Spokane to here, sits down next to me. It's Terrence McKinney. He calls a friend and said, I just got asked to fight on 263. I turned him and go, who are you? He says, who are you? And we spent the next 2 hours talking. So it was cool. His UFC debut, and he's excited. Has a healthy weight cut he's got to get in, but it was funny that we sat side by side. So big week ahead. We're excited about it.
It is. And, the fighters are actually training and excited, which makes things possible for them to get added last minute. They're all looking forward to it. And again, with all the local promotions, without them, UFC doesn't have anybody. And so when they step up to the plate, it's a good thing.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Matthew. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Got your father here in the room with us. He's not willing to go on camera, but he is here. You guys have us surrounded. He's throwing in snide comments. That's what his specialty is. Yeah.
Tell everybody I said hello.
Thank you. Take care now. We'll see you soon.
You too.
Who else would like to chat with us? Come on, Bob Carmel. Have you really sat through a meeting without chiming in? Okay. Anyone else? All right. There being no one, let's go to the call of the commission. Commission members or the executive director may introduce a summary of current events, ask questions, and or make comments. Mr. Becerra, you got anything for us?
Yeah, I want to talk about this past event we had at the Thunderbolt Boxing on Friday, June 4th. It was their first event here in Arizona. It was a great event. They had it at the Arizona Federal Theater. It was pretty much sold out. Great crowd for their first event. They want to keep having events every first Friday, so that's exciting. It was a big crowd for their first event, so yeah, I was very happy with that. Also, as you guys know, we have the UFC coming up this Saturday. Again, it was a sold out very quickly. It's our first pay-per-view in Arizona with 2 title fights. That's something great for Arizona. It really is making history. Hopefully they see the crowd and they want to come back. So that would be a dream come true. The week after that, on Father's Day, we have a Rough Nation Roasted 1 Celebrity Theater. It seems that event at the Celebrity Theater, so that's exciting. And right after that, the next Saturday, we have Sweet Science. The week after that, we have Thunderbolt again, and the week after that, we have Del Sol. So those are my little reports for the upcoming events.
Perfect. Thank you. Commissioners, any questions, thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, I have none.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Just a quick thought on what a small world the MMA world is. That Terrence McKinney's trainer, he trains out of Warrior Camp in Spokane, his coach is my old training partner, Pablo Alfonso, that I trained with in Coeur d'Alene as well, where he's got another gym. But a great camp there, great guy. So really happy to see him make the card. I know Pablo was super excited about it, his coach. So very small world.
No doubt, Commissioner. It was a fun flight to catch up with that whole gang, and to see a UFC debut kid sitting next to you was really cool because he's fired up. He's got his hands full, but he's fired up and ready to go. So looks like a great card. We're at 14 fights now. Is that right, Mr. Becerra?
Yeah, I believe
I
so.
glanced at it. It's going to be a full day. So We'll do a great job with it, I'm sure. I too have nothing. Why don't we let those that don't want to chat with us go if they'd like, and we will jump back to our hearing, which was C6, hearing for Jeffrey Thomas Wells. Ms. Wagner, shall we do it now?
Certainly. I don't know if Mr. Wells is on the call.
Mr. Wells, are you with us?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Very good.
Commissioners, just to give you the roadwork or the map here of what the commission is to be looking at, any person who has been aggrieved by a decision of the executive director can appeal the decision to the commission, which is somewhat what Mr. Wells has done. The commission, or excuse me, the executive director, when he spoke with me, determined that based upon the number of grievances that Mr. Wells had, that it be set before the commission for an appeal. As the commission received in your packet, a notice of disciplinary action was submitted to Mr. Wells on March 18th, 2021. The basis for that disciplinary action was the belief that Mr. Wells was under the influence of a substance and departed the venue prior to the commission administering a drug test, as well as his behavior being inconsistent with the expectations of a professional athlete in Arizona, as well as breach of contract for his contracted bout on the night of March 13th, 2021. There has been discipline imposed, which is a suspension of the professional MMA license for a minimum period of 180 days, which will end on September 9th, 2021. And the requirement that Mr. Wells must submit to a urine analysis prior to the suspension being removed. I would note that per the rules that are set out for the commission on an appeal, the commission's options are to affirm or modify the decision or grant a rehearing on the issue. Some of the determinations that the commission may look at is to whether there were irregularities in the process, whether there was an excessive or insufficient penalties. So after hearing what's going to be presented today, if the commission feels that there should be additional penalties, you could certainly modify at that point, or if they were excessive, you could modify as well. Or if there were accident or surprise that was not provided to the executive director prior to the decision being made. So also as part of your packet, you as the commissioners received Mr. Wells' list of grievances, which none appear to actually address the issues of the notice of appeal. And so it would be up to the commission to determine if they were to allow Mr. Wells to have the floor to address those additional grievances, or if those should be best dealt with through an investigation through the department. And so Mr. Wells does have the burden of proof to show that there were any irregularities or that it was an excessive penalty, or he should not have been dealt a notice of disciplinary action. So he would have to present evidence to the commission to indicate that what was contained in the notice of disciplinary action was in effect incorrect.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. Is Mr. Wells able to address us at this time? Is that the format?
Yes. Yes. Hello.
He can certainly present evidence or testimony. I would just note that Mr. Wells, if you are looking to use this as a grievance to deal with whatever issues that are not part of the appeal, I will certainly object. Obviously, it's up to the commission to make that determination as to what this hearing is about. But specifically, this is an appeal concerning your notice of disciplinary action and the information that is contained within that notice.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. Mr. Wells, you have the floor, sir.
Okay. When I arrived on the yes.
Just one moment. I'm sorry, and it's my fault.
Mr. Wells, as part of a hearing process, we need to have you sworn in. So I am Cassie Goodwin, assisting in the commission meeting. If you could please raise your right hand. And do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed. And please, again, state your name on the record.
Jeffrey Thomas Wells, date of birth, September 12th, MC triple.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Wells. That was my fault. I had to swear you in, but you do have the floor, so please proceed.
Okay. All right. So when I got to Glendale Civic Center, I was greeted by two people, Carlos Becerra and matchmaker, who was Jason Martinez. Now, when I got there, I was under the impression that my corner was not going to be allowed in because they did not have COVID tests. I had submitted my COVID test. They had actually paid for it. Jason Martinez did, or RUF did. Now, from there, Carlos Becerra, I thought the former commissioner was going to be at that event. So it was kind of a little, not a big deal, a little bit of a hiccup. All I told Mr. Martinez was that I just needed a water boy and somebody to wrap my hand. Now, I said somebody. He said, no problem. I've got just the guy. And he was a guy that had wrapped my hands previously at a show. I knew him personally. He did a very good job. So I didn't have a problem with that individual. Now, at that moment, I believe Carlos Becerra had left. At this time, Jason Martinez said, oh, it's not a big deal if they don't have their COVID test. You can bring them in anyway. So I brought my cornerman and my coach, James Kiernan. Now, at this point, we need to address that issue of my cornerman who is seen on video walking me out. I don't need to explain the event. How does he not have a COVID test? And with the protocols in play, where was the disconnect and the misdialogue?
Commissioners, if I may interject here, I think we are getting outside of what this appeal is about. Again, if there are issues that Mr. Wells has concerning protocol regarding a previous match, you can certainly bring those up to the department, but I don't think this is an appropriate issue for the appeal hearing today.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. Mr. Wells, yeah, we're here to discuss your disciplinary action and hear from you.
Well, I would move to immediately release my license suspension or face disciplinary action via attorneys and courts, which I do not want to go down. But I am also going to be seeking legal action on RUF for various, I believe they did break the law going behind the back of the Boxing Commission without their knowledge. To that, the Boxing Commission did not have enough people there, in my professional opinion, to regulate this event appropriately. And I have some major concerns because you have the UFC, as you guys are all bragging about, it sounds, just boasting about the professional shows that are coming in town. And I was at a professional event that was supposedly sponsored by one, and it was, in my opinion, a smoker. And I have fought locally, internationally in Canada. I have held license in 2008, and I have fought in Vegas and Laughlin. I have had knockouts on my record. I have a Gogo Plata submission on my record that Santino DeFranco was my cornerman. I was just explaining my license.
I just want to make sure we all understand we're here to talk about your suspension and the disciplinary action. I think you've said your piece. Ms. Wagner, where do we go from here?
Certainly, commissioners, I can certainly provide evidence as to the basis for that notice of disciplinary action if the commission would like to hear and see that particular evidence.
Please, Ms. Wagner.
Is Juan Estrada available for testimony?
He's sitting right next to me.
Okay. Ms. Goodwin, if I could have Mr. Estrada sworn in, please.
Yes, ma'am. Please raise your right hand. It is. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Name is Juan Estrada. I'm with the Arizona Department of Gaming, ECU Special Agent Supervisor.
All right. Thank you, commissioners. If I may proceed.
Please.
Thank you. Mr. Estrada, were you at an event on March 13th, 2021 at the Glendale Civic Center in Glendale, Arizona?
Yes, I was.
And was this an event that was being put on by Rough Nation MMA on that date?
Yes, it was.
And as part of the event that was happening that day, did you have an occasion to become involved with an athlete by the name of Jeffrey T. Wells?
Yes, I did.
And what drew your attention to Mr. Wells on that particular date?
So on that particular date, as maybe you guys will see the video later on, and you can probably piece everything together once I explain it right now. But it appeared that Mr. Wells was coming out, and it appeared more of a show before he stepped into the cage. However, as time progressed, and he continued to be on stage, it appeared for a moment. I mean, you can tell that the crowd, commissioners, staff thought that this was just a performance before him stepping into the cage. However, his gestures indicated otherwise. At which point, I got up to meet the fighter on the back end. When I first approached him, Mr. Wells appeared to be very disoriented, wobbly, was unable to kind of stand on his own. He had his the cornerman hold him up for the most part. I mean, he had enough willpower to stand and wobble away from me, which he did. He walked away at a pretty decent pace, obviously swerving back and forth, slurring words. The people on the backside were trying to encourage him to go back out and fight. When I did make close contact with Mr. Wells at that point, I noticed that Mr. Wells' pupils were probably the size of a quarter. He again appeared very unstable. He was irritated. He was angry. I mean, at one point he did kind of, I won't say threaten, but it was more of a verbal threat where he just said some words to me, and in response, I responded back to him and told him that due to his condition and what I've witnessed, and even and still talking to him in his
may I object here? Hello,
Mr. Wells, you'll have an opportunity to question the witness when it's your time.
I directed to him that his fight would be.
It pertains to his medical.
Mr. Wells, you will have an opportunity to question the witness when it is your turn. It is not your turn.
At that point, just by his condition, again, his aggressiveness, and just visually looking at his pupils, the size they were, I immediately told him that his fight was over. I proceeded to walk back to the commission table where we were to continue the show. At this point, I recall passing Mr. Era Feinstein and maybe Dr. Oda, which I believe they had got a chance to witness this fighter as well.
And Mr. Estrada, were you under the impression that Mr. Wells was a contracted fighter on the date for this event?
Yes, he was under contract with Ruff.
Okay. And if there had been, prior to the fight, if there had been any issues or concerns about Mr. Wells, would he have been allowed to enter into the bout that he was going to go out for?
So every fighter gets medically cleared before they step into the cage. Have there been any indications that he was unfit to fight, then at that moment, the commission would have made that determination to cancel that fight.
Okay. And in your experience, what has been your experience as far as witnessing fighters with regard to matches and those types of things?
Well, his behavior was very abnormal. I've really never seen nothing like that, to where a fighter makes it all the way out onto the stage for the public to view. So I would say this was a unique circumstance. I've seen other fighters, however, the fighters never make it out of their dressing room.
And Mr. Estrada, were you aware if law enforcement contact was made with Mr. Wells?
I believe there was, when we were exiting the premises, I did witness two officers trying to what appeared wake up Mr. Wells. He was enclosed in a vehicle which appeared to be locked. At that point, I did not stop. It was away from the premises. I didn't feel the need for me to be there.
Mr. Estrada, as a representative of the Department of Gaming and the Boxing and MMA division, do you have the authority to tell athletes that their match is going to be scratched?
Yes, I do. With probable cause, I do.
And based upon what you saw on March 13th, 2021, prior to Mr. Wells entering the ring, do you believe that there was probable cause to scratch the bout?
Not only was there probable cause, also I had the recommendation of our ringside physician and also commissioner, which is a doctor as well, and they both indicated that that fighter was not fit to fight.
And as a representative of the Department of Gaming, did you request that Mr. Wells undergo a chemical test to determine if he was under the influence of anything?
Yes, I did. However, the fighter left the premises and we were unable to locate him until, like I said, when I was leaving the premises.
I was never asked.
I saw the two officers trying to wake him up. So I believe after he figured out that the fight was canceled, he left the premises.
Okay. And you said that there is video that shows Mr. Wells' condition when he walked out to go to the ring. Is that correct?
Yes, there is.
And have you had an opportunity to review this video?
I have.
And in reviewing that video, does it meet with what you saw on the date of the match in question?
Yes, it does.
Commissioners, I do have the video. If I may use the present now portion of Google Meet, I would attempt to show the commission the video that was taken.
Please. Thank you, Ms. Wagner. We are attempting to put it up right now, so sit tight.
Okay. Can everybody see?
I'm getting there.
Oh, wait, here we go. We're getting there. Oh,
And was everybody able to see that video?
Should we do it one more time in case anybody?
Mr. Sarah is recommending it be run one more time, just so everyone can see it.
Sure. All right. Was everybody able to see the video clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
I am going to stop screen sharing. Okay. And Mr. Estrada, then viewing that video, was that what you saw happening with Mr. Wells on March 13th, 2021?
Yes, it was.
And based on what you saw, did that lead to your belief as to the possibility of Mr. Wells?
We can make sure that does not happen again. Just stop burning buildings down. It's absurd. It is the Rushmore Ball Show on the EID.
Mr. Estrada, I don't know if you can hear me. Were you able, based on what was seen in the video and shown in the video, did this help make your conclusions as far as probable cause for requesting that chemical test?
It was.
And commissioners, I would also direct on your commission packet the police report that was submitted on this matter. It is pages 65, 66, 67, and 68 of your packet. I would note that, at least as part of the service remarks, it indicates that an individual stating that her brother is on something and needs medical help, but keeps trying to fight anyone who tries to help him, and says that he is a trained fighter, and then apparently refused all help. And this was on that March 13th date. Commissioners, I would also, I have a few questions of Mr. Wells, if the commission would indulge.
Please.
Mr. Wells, are you still present on the phone?
He has to dial *6 to unmute himself.
Yes, Mr.
Yes,
Wells.
I am.
There he is.
Mr. Wells, were you under contract with Rough Nation MMA for the March 13th, 2021 fight?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And you understood that as part of that contract, you were required to enter into and complete a match on that date at Glendale Civic Arena?
Yes, and real quickly, to whom am I speaking and your credentials?
This is Kelly Wagner. I'm the Assistant Attorney General assigned to the Department of Gaming and representing the Boxing and MMA Commission.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And you did receive the notice of disciplinary action that was dated March 18th, 2021?
I think I got it, but I didn't open it.
Okay. You understand that you were suspended for a period of time based upon the department believing that
Correct.
you were under the influence of a chemical substance, that your behavior was not up to the level that was expected, and of the potential for the breach of contract.
Correct.
And by not going through with the match on March 13th, 2021, that you were not following through with the contracted upon agreement with Rough Nation MMA.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And you understand that the commission, through the department, asked for a chemical test based upon your behaviors on March 13th, 2021?
They did not ask me directly that night. Given the event, I'm not, I neither here nor there. What happened happened, but I can submit to a urine analysis any time. I don't do anything illegally. I am all natural, and I can prove that.
Okay. Are you claiming that your behaviors on the night of March 13th were an act to get out of the contract with Rough MMA?
I felt the contract was null and void when two people wrapped my hands, and I still have the wraps present with me. I know, given the hearing, but I can deliver them to you or the Attorney General if you need. But there is no sign-off. Now, in a proper bout that's regulated, you have to initial the wraps. This was not done because two people wrapped my hands. The bout at that point is null and void.
And you're saying that this particular event was not sanctioned or licensed by the department?
It was, but because of lack of leadership and or personnel, it led to attempting to take advantage of the situation and deliver me to Roman Salazar on a platter.
Okay, so
which I'm no pig. I'm no pig.
Your testimony is that based upon your concerns and what your beliefs were, the event was not being held correctly, but
well, no, it's based
approach,
on.
Okay, you didn't approach anybody with the department to indicate your concerns.
I don't have to. I know the law. I worked for the sheriff's office. In 2005 to 2008, I worked for Fort Ash. So logbooks and paperwork are my specialty.
Okay, so you felt you didn't need to advise anybody from the department about your concerns with your perceived irregularities.
I already did all this. I gave them. They actually called me yesterday in a threatening manner. Carlo did, letting me know that I should not go through with this or whatever. I don't know. It was it would have struck fear in some people, but I typically, well, non-threatening, but some people may take it.
Okay, on March 13th, 2021, did you?
No, he called me last night. I have
No, sir, I'm asking you on March 13th, did you address your concerns with anybody with the commission or the department?
Oh, I couldn't, given my coach basically was making me fight. He's old school. He's like that. So he just pushed me up onto the stage. And there's video of this too. I believe Danny Hilton has. He's a professional fighter as well. He has video of the behind the scenes footage where I heard he said the doctors were laughing at me as I was wielded up and pulled and dragged by my coach up to the stage. I told him I was not fighting. The doctors were okay with me fighting. So he dragged me up to the stage and I told him I was not fighting. Now, he does not know the law and the regulations like I do. I told him I was not fighting. I told everybody I wasn't fighting, but I was made to fight against my will. And that's not legal, I believe.
Commissioners, I have no further questions of this witness or any other witnesses.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. What are the protocols? How do we proceed, Ms. Wagner?
So the commissioners need to debate as to what has been heard, and then the commission would need to undertake whether it was going to modify, affirm, or grant a rehearing. Those considerations are set out in R19 2C608.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And we do this publicly right now, correct?
Yes.
Very good. Commissioners, let's chat about this, if we will. What are your thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, I've heard nothing today that would cause me to do anything except vote to affirm the sanction.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Feinstein, tell us what you're...
I was present the evening in question, and nothing that was attested to was different than anything that I witnessed in terms of certainly the fighter being altered in some way that certainly would not have made it safe to enter the cage. And obviously the overriding concern is for the athletes and their safety. And I'm just grateful that he did not fight. It sounds like he, according to him, did not want to fight. And I think this certainly could have turned out much differently and potentially worse. And so I'm very grateful that there was an intervention that prevented him from entering the ring. That said, I think that the proposed sanction is reasonable, and I would vote to affirm it.
Thank you, Commissioner. I find the video alarming. It's important you understand that we don't have an axe to grind. Our job is to ensure the fairness of events and to protect those contestants. Any potential contestant showing that type of physical behavior, whether impaired or acting, will not be allowed in a ring or a cage. That's just the facts. This is not us coming after you, Mr. Wells. If you are comfortable with your corner and your coach, I would suggest you go looking elsewhere, because this can't happen again. I too feel the same way, that this is absolutely appropriate. Do I need a motion, Ms. Wagner?
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for dragging me down the path. The chair would be open to a motion if there is.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the disciplinary action taken March 18th, 2001, based on the behavior of March 13th, 2001.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Wells, we appreciate your time and hope to see you again soon. Thanks for calling in. Ms. Wagner, thank you for being involved. We appreciate all your efforts in this regard. Mr. Estrada, Commissioner Feinstein, Mr. Becerra, thank you all for being involved in this. Where does that lead us?
G.
That gets us back to G, the announcement that the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, July 7th, 2021, and is subject to change based on a quorum. And after that, it's H. We are adjourned if someone would move and second and vote for such.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That one carries unanimously as well. We are officially adjourned. More to come. Commissioner Pennington will figure out how to get you tested for the weekend ahead, and look forward to seeing you all.
Sounds great.
And the time, I always do this wrong. The time is 11:05, and we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.